Your Name is a 2016 Japanese animated film and is written and directed by Makoto Shinkai. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he is mostly known for making films like Voices of a Distant Star and 5 centimeters per second. Though, after this film, I don't think anyone's going to be talking about those films anymore. I say that because the director's movies always feel like they're lacking something. Like, they're interesting to watch, but they're not necessarily good, with the exception of 5 centimeters per second. But I can safely say now that Your Name managed to fill in that missing puzzle piece. It is a movie that exceeds expectations, and I have no problem saying that. The story, as if you didn't know already, is about two teenagers, Mitsuha and Taki, who find that when they wake up sometimes, they are in each other's bodies for the rest of the day until they fall asleep again. The movie follows them figuring out how to deal with this crazy experience, blending into each other's lives, and even learn about themselves along the way. All the while revealing a twist that I dare not spoil because it was something that I did not see coming and had my mouth drop to the floor in the theater. It's that good. What's not to praise about this movie, honestly? The characters are fun and their interactions show how close they are to each other. My favorite being Taki's older co-worker, Miki. I have no problem saying that I have a huge crush on her now. I'm happy that I saw this movie in an HD theater because I was able to notice the little details that were done in the animation. It's something that you think at first seems kind of pointless, but it just adds a bit more to the feel of the movie. Not to mention that the backgrounds are breathtaking. This movie doesn't have too many quiet moments, but when it does, they are on full display. I saw this movie dubbed, and both the voice actors and the script were adapted pretty well from the original sub, minus one or two moments that were hard to translate. Talking about that Boku and Atashi scene. Guy and gal my ass. Stephanie Seth did take me a little bit to sell me as Mitsuha, but I grew used to her. All the other voice actors were amazing. I give major props to the dub team for managing to adapt some tricky scenes that I was worried about going in. I've always loved body swap or gender change stories growing up. Now that I'm transitioning into a woman, the reason for that is painfully obvious to me. So when I heard that the movie's been getting crazy reviews and such hype to it was a body swapping movie, I got really excited. The way that the two of them handle being in the body of another gender was both realistic and hilarious. Though, since this was a PG-13 movie, I think we obviously don't see the really risque things that they did. Just saying. Some of it is really trope-filled, but it's done in a way that is fresh and new, and I think that's because of Shinkai's themes of love that is present in all of his movies. In all of his movies, Shinkai has the theme about love that is separated because of some kind of wall that separates the two people from each other, like an age gap or being in two different cities. With this movie, it's all about being in each other's bodies, but never remembering who they are exactly. They never remember what each other's name is when they wake up. See what I did there? If you don't like it, then get used to it. The movie does it multiple times. But they slowly start to form a bond with each other through written messages and journal entries. It was a unique experience and very heartwarming to see. I think the theme works very well with this plot in a way that no one has ever really done before. Body swapping stories are usually played for laughs, but Your Name takes a very dramatic way of telling its story. Don't get me wrong, there are laughs throughout the film, but it's also dramatic, but it balances out very nicely. Before I wrap this up, I want to talk about something that I've noticed that a lot of reviewers aren't talking about that much, or at all, probably because it's very small and irrelevant, but I was intrigued by the movie's inclusion of Mitsuha's possible bisexuality or pansexuality. Queer anime characters are everywhere in anime shows, but they don't really ever show up in movies, with the only ones that I can think of at the top of my head being some of the characters from The Adolescence of Utena and the third Evangelion film. But out of original work from movies, there are really none to be found. Except for Hana from Tokyo Godfathers, now that I'm actually thinking about it. But in Your Name, though it's not explicitly said, and it's very subtle, I just really liked its exclusion into the story, and it added a layer to Mitsuha's character that I really appreciated. In Taki's world, she falls in love with another woman, and this fact is hinted at throughout the film. Though it's not explicitly said, it's pretty obvious, and it was something that really caught me by surprise. I won't spoil anything else about it, but it was a nice addition in my eyes. Guys, I need to stop right here, or I'll go on forever talking about this movie. And my words aren't nearly explaining the masterpiece that this movie is. It truly is an amazing and unique film that really surprised me and exceeded my expectations. Everything is perfect about it, from the story, the characters, the animation, and the themes of the movie. the critics and extreme hype are correct when they say that Your Name is basically perfection. Maybe not for everyone, but it certainly was for me. And for that reason, I'm going to be giving Your Name an A+. I'm not kidding, this movie is amazing. Go see it in theaters if you can, or buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, because I most certainly am.